understand the difference. The wolf is not playing any games with you.
No.
That's that world outside.
Oh, yes. Kingdom word.
That's that immoral lifestyle.
That's right.
That's outside.
That's right. That's right.
Don't sit down and believe for 1 second you're going to be able to survive because other people survive.
No.
Other people survive because God is gracious unto them. You don't know the plan of God.
Especially if you've been warned.
You sit down and you survive the one, you survive two. You're going to continue to tempt God? Let me guess, you think you're so blessed that you're going to walk up and put your hand in the mouth of a lion and not get bit? Let me guess, you can walk on hot coals and not be scorned. Right? You'll be scorched with those coals, whether you acknowledge the pain or not. So I sit down and I talk about what's happening because there is a people that the Most High God doesn't like. And that's a conversation that we don't like to have. There are nations within our own commandments that the Most High God said, don't show them any mercy. I want you to kill them. I want you to stay away from them. I don't want you intermarrying with them. We don't like to talk about it because in this captivity, race is pushed so much. It's like, who are you to cause this separation? But the reality is that I'm not causing this separation. God has caused this separation.
That's right.
God wants us to separate ourselves because there's certain things that nations are doing that he doesn't want amongst his people.
Right.
And that's an important lesson for all of us to learn. There's certain type of people you don't want in your house.
That's right.
There's certain type of behavior you should never allow to occur in your house.
That's right.
And if you find it present in your house, what should you do? Check it, fix it, get rid of it, ASAP, immediately. That's what you should do. See, the man who Jacob was, he couldn't become the man he was with Esau being present.
No.
And we're going to see later on, as we get into this portion, the book of Obadiah, chapter 1, please turn here with me, that God eventually grew to hate Esau. He eventually grew to hate Edom because he never treated us like a brother. And so I'm going to take a minute to talk about strife, and I'm going to take a minute to talk about unity.
Okay.
You know, just because you're my brother doesn't mean you're treating me like a brother. Just because you're family doesn't mean you're treating me like family. The Most High God, I believe it was in the book of Jeremiah, and it may be the 49th chapter, but I'll get back to y'all later if it comes back to me. He talks about the brotherly covenant. And I sit down and I say to us, you know, if you consider somebody your brother, there's certain things you'll never do to them.
Right.
If you consider somebody family, true family, if you truly love somebody, there's certain things that you will never do. And so I stop and I say to us, as we begin to build and grow as a nation, there comes a time where you stop and you're like, listen, don't cross the line. Because once you cross the line, there is a cutoff point. There is when you have actually done too much. See, we're fooled by TV. And we let TV tell us, listen, there's nothing that a person can't come back from. We stop and say, that's not the truth. I think I was watching this show the other day, and the man finds out through DNA testing, isn't that always the case, that the daughter is really not his daughter. So then, of course, now you got to revisit history, and when was the time that the man and the woman was arguing, and the woman went astray, and she made him believe for 20-something years, or 30-something, it was something crazy, like this woman was grown, that, oh, that's your child. And then the real father came forth, and, you know, when he leaves the inheritance to her, and everybody's like, well, what's going on here? Why is he leaving her all the money? It's like, oh, that's what it is, and everything comes out. And so as time goes on, we stop and we look at it, and he stops and he goes, well, no matter what, you're still my daughter. and you'll always be my daughter. And I know this is how God would want it. And so anybody who knows me knows that I'm sitting there watching this and I'm like, that's what God warned us of. That's exactly what he warned us of. These illegitimate relationships and these illegitimate children that he defined as bastards. A mamzer. And so you sit down and you're like, if there's no cutoff point, then what are we doing here? Why don't we just bring everybody along? And I don't even know why we're still sitting in captivity, because God should save us, because listen, all of us will eventually be accepted. That's not the God I serve.
That's right.
And so I sit down and I say about Esau was blessed and he forsook his blessing. And now God hates him. Let's not let that be us. It started from when he was young. Don't sit down and tell me you can't mess up your future as a child. Oh, that's just a boy. That's just a girl. Let them go through their growing pains. Don't work out like that. Nah. They can do some things to themselves that will mess themselves up as adults. Irreversible actions that stop. And you wonder why they don't believe in God anymore. And it's because the things that they have done cause them to believe that God has forsook them when they in turn have forsook their own blessing. Right. God didn't forsake them. You forsook your own blessing. Right. And that's why things are working out the way they're working out for you right now. Turn back to God. But what happens? We have places like this where we allow children to stop and tell us, like, oh, I'm not going to service anymore. I'm not doing that anymore. Sit down and be like, at what point has that become an option for you?
Right.
At what point were you sitting in the house and you were saying to yourself that you were going to come and talk to me in such a manner that you felt that it was okay for you to tell me, oh, I'm not going this way? Because the longer you stay away from places like this, places that talk about God and teach about the Most High God, is the more that you'll stop and you'll say to yourself, now you're like, I can't get back to God. You know why you can't get back to God? Because it seems strange to you. Esau's blessing became strange to him. And in turn, because he was so angry with his brother, instead of owning, instead of accepting that he forsook his blessing and try and think about how he could get closer to God, his hatred for his brother lasted for generations. And how do you get hatred between two people that last generations down the line? Teaching it to your children. So we were just talking about this morning, right? You sit down and you be like, you 13 years old talking about you got beef. Like, what are you talking about? That was never between you and those two. How did you inherit this part? Because you're teaching your children. And then you teach your children to teach it to their children, and you stop and you say, oh, hate that family. And then the next thing you do, this is what we do as Israelites. We perpetuate hatred as if that's what God wanted. We stop and we look and we think, oh, how are we dealing with this? And so as we get to this point and understand about Edom and understand about Jacob, it didn't start out like this. It didn't have to end
Hallelujah.
Hallelujah.
The vision of Obadiah. Thus saith Jehovah God concerning Edom. We have heard a message from Jehovah. An ambassador is sent among the nations. Arise ye and let us rise up against her in battle. Behold, I make thee small among the nations. God greatly despised.
Now I want us to understand this now. It ain't starting off good. He's sitting down, he's like, you're despised. But what we've been taught, God doesn't hate people. Right? Wrong. We start, he's like, oh, there's a point of forgiveness for all people. Right? Wrong. God is sitting down, he's telling them, we have heard a message from Yahweh, and an ambassador sent among the nations. Arise ye and let us rise up against her and die.
Right.
God no longer likes you because of what you do, because of what you continue to do, because of your repeated behavior. Now God wants to kill you. It goes on to read.
The pride of thy heart hath beguiled thee.
You fooled yourself. Come on.
O thou that dwellest in the cleft of the rock, thy habitation on high.
That say in your heart, listen to this.
Who shall bring me down to the ground?
What do you mean, who shall bring you down to the ground? God. The Most High will judge you. That's how long you've been away from God for so long, you actually believe that nobody can touch you.
Right.
We stop and we get away so long, we get so far on our high horse that we stop. We be like, the Israelites ain't gonna do nothing to me. I can do whatever I want, whenever I feel like. Somebody gonna do something to me, come see me. And you sit down and you be like, but what about God?
Right.
Let's say you can beat all of us. What about God?
That's right.
You gonna beat God? God will be judging you before you even realize you're being judged.
For real.
You'll be so far in, you'll be like, how did I get to this point? Because the Most High God was breaking you down methodically. A lot of times we look for sickness. We look for strife.
Right.
Sometimes it's just the people in our household. Your child can be the person to break you down. Your spouse can be the person to break you down.
Right.
Your very job, the thing that you consider your livelihood, can be the thing to break you down.
Oh.
And then there could be a combination of all three.
Oh, yeah. Oh.
Now you don't know what to do. And then in turn, you're dealing with a parent that is ill, that requires your time to go do that. And it's pulling you in so many directions, you don't know what to do anymore.
Right.
You can't believe that you're dealing with things in such a way. You know, I sit down and tell people, when people have a nervous breakdown, it's because there's so many things happening to them, they don't understand what to do.
Exactly. Right. Exactly.
Why do you think that can't be you?
Exactly.
That includes me.
Yeah.
I sit down and I talk about spiritual health. There is time that all of us need to ourselves to stop and consider what's happening in life and how we're going to deal with it.
That's right.
You can't always be around me. Yes, I do need some time to myself.
Need time.
Sit down, he's like, it's important. I'm telling you, Israel, talk to your spouse, talk to your children. I know you think you need me right now, but you need a minute to just go do what you do. Give me a minute, I'll be back. It's okay. They'll be fine. The world won't end in the half hour, the hour, or the day you need for yourself.
Amen. Amen.
I said, yes, I agree. We need more time to communicate.
Okay.
But we also need time to take for ourselves.
Yeah.
And so as we stop and we look at all the different things going on, and we look at how God was dealing with things, and he looked at the Edomite, Esau thought about himself far too often without thinking of others. And so I stop and I say, the time that you have for yourself as you work through your things, understand there's time for yourself, time for others, and time for the nation. There's time, and guess what? People are never going to be satisfied, totally satisfied with what you do.
That's a fact. That's a fact.
That's just life. Somebody's going to complain about something,
Yeah.
sometime or another,
Yeah.
why you doing things the way you do things,
Exactly.
and listen,
Yeah. That's all right.
they'll be all right.
That's right. That's okay.
Just because they think you're weird,
Yeah.
don't worry about it.
Don't stress yourself, man.
You do you.
That's right. That's
Why
right.
do I say that? Because there's sometimes when kids are thinking to themselves, and they're like, oh, this is how I'm going to deal with it. And they don't talk to their parents about it. And what happens? they're actually being influenced by something out there.
Yeah, yes.
So take the time to sit down and talk to your children. Because I guarantee you, if somebody sat down and talked with Esau about what he was doing, he could have probably got himself somewhere out of this. I understand it was the plan of the Most High that the younger would rule over the older.
Yeah.
But Edom didn't have to be hated. He didn't have to be greatly despised. Don't sit down and think to yourself, yeah, I'll just be all right. Things will be good. Understand why you're all right. But this is what I'm going to do to get myself out of the hole. Who dwells in the cleft of the rocks, thy habitation on high, that says in our heart, who shall bring me down to the ground? As a people, we can never take God out of the equation. And if you do, you're a fool. It reads.
Verse 4. Though thou make thy nest as high as the eagle, and though thou set it among the stars, I will bring thee down from thence, saith Jehovah. If thieves came to thee, if robbers by night, art thou cut off. Not still till they had enough.
If grape gatherers came to thee,
would they not leave some gleaning grapes?
Yeah.
I was Esau searched out, hidden places sought out. All the men of thy confederacy have conducted thee to the border. The men that were not have beguiled and rebelled against thee.
They that eat thy bread. Right.
In whom there is no discernment.
There's no discernment. This is what I'm telling you about your friends. This is who Edom was. Because he on being a person that manipulates you. The cash, you want my bed, you want the TV. I mean, really, bro, you took the soap too. Like, oh, this is special soap. Oh, I never seen. Where did he get this from? I'm gonna take this. Sit down. I had a bag of chips, and while you were in there, you reached in the bag and took some chips off us. You got hungry. Shabbat Shalom. Most High God bless you. And so I sit and I say, it's like, you don't just want some, you want to destroy me. You want to leave me desolate. That's what Esau did to our land. That's what Edom did to our land. Understand that this didn't stop. It started in the house of Yisrael and Raquel. It started there where the strife began. But then it continued on, as we'll read later in today's portion. And then it went on even further when we was going into our land and we asked to pass through the Edomite land, and they didn't want us to pass through. They came out and met us with aggression. Even though we stopped and we said, we'll pay for our own food, we'll buy the water, just only let us pass through. And they said no. And so these were the things that were going on. And so I want us to understand this, that even though God told us not to abhor the Edomite, but he is your brother, there's certain battles that sometimes you ain't got to worry about fighting because God will take up the fight for you.
That's right.
So it's like, don't worry about going through that land. It's all right. Yeah, you might have to go another route. You might have to go around. You might have to do things differently. But don't worry about it. The blessing is still coming. And so when he's telling us about what he did, now God is breaking him down. Because he's saying, the people who you thought were your friends are not your friends. And we can't understand that. Sometimes you stop and tell people, you're like, listen, I know you think that person is your friend, but every time you're around this person, nothing good happens. This person convinces you to do ungodly things all of the time. You don't even speak godly when you're around this person. And now they're trying to think to take what you have and you don't even know it. What did he say about the snare? They that eat thy bread lay a snare under thee. The people that's closest unto you. Why? Because Because there's no honor amongst thieves. You think they're for you, but the minute that they see your foot slip, trust me, they'll take your stuff too. Y'all go out and rob together, but trust you me, if they think that you're sleeping, they'll take your stuff too.
For real.
And so even sitting there, you like, it's bad enough when you do that to somebody you don't know. Now how you gonna do that to your own brother? So don't forget, when we came into the land, and when the Babylonians came to take over the land, Edom just sat there and watched. You know, we forget that the Edomites were around us, the Ammonites were around us, the Moabites were amongst us. Part of the issue was Dawid understood who Edom was. And Joab went in there, if you remember our history, Joab went in there and he was killing people, the males, within that place called Edom. Not that he killed every last Edomite, but that place called Edom, he killed those males. And so, because they didn't like the fact that they were tributary to us and that we ruled over us, when the Babylonians came in, they just watched us. But they knew that it was the plan of God for them to serve us. However, they ignored that portion. It goes on to read.
We're in the book of Obadiah, chapter 1, verse 8. Shall I not in that day, saith Jehovah, destroy the wise men out of Edom, and discernment out of the mount of Esau?
That's a judgment. I want us to understand this before I let him read a little bit more. That's a judgment. When discernment leads you, when wisdom leads you. When you stop and you say, you're like, I know this don't make any sense, but I'm going to do it anyway. God is judging you. Yeah, people like, I know this don't make no sense, but I'm about to get real ignorant tonight. That's God judging you. That is God judging you. You know, I mean, if you can admit to yourself that is ignorant, my goodness. And you're going to do it anyway. And then afterwards, when you're suffering, you're like, I knew I shouldn't have did it. But I had fun. Is that who we've become? Wise and understanding people. Can you have fun without becoming ignorant? Of course you can. Of course you can. But I sit down, I talk about television. They have made ignorant television the norm. You see ignorant things on television, and you stop and you're like, they are stupid. I can't believe this. You're like, you know, we call it ignorant television is our guilty pleasure. I'm about to watch these fools right now. We have learned to laugh at how God is judging people. That's our plight. Leave them fools to themselves, because that's a no. Like, don't let people laugh at you. It's when people are laughing with you, when people are laughing at you. Don't let people laugh at you. Don't sit down and think $1 is worth you being able to go on television and look like a fool, and then people are looking at you later like, what's going on? I tell you, like, we would sooner like to watch and laugh at people acting ignorant than sooner sit down and listen to the words of the Most High God, which would save our life. One another, ignorant, words of the Most High. I'm going to be ignorant for a little while. I'm going to laugh at this for a little while. I'm going to get back to that in a few. God is judging us. It reads.
And thy mighty men, O Teman, shall be dismayed, to the end that everyone may be cut off from the mount of Esau by slaughter.
Look at that. God is talking about he's going to cut everybody off by slaughter because of what they did. Come on.
For the violence done to thy brother Yaakov shall cover thee, and thou shalt be cut off forever.
In the day
that thou didst stand aloof from the day that strangers carried away his substance, and foreigners entered into his gates, and cast lots upon Jerusalem. Even thou wast as one of them.
That's what I'm talking about for the brotherly covenant. Because no matter how much beef we have, we shouldn't be looking to hurt one another. No matter how much beef we have, we shouldn't allow other people to hurt our brothers, no matter if we disagree. Right? I understand disagree. I understand we can't get along, but my goodness, you're going to let somebody hurt me? You're going to stand on the side and just watch as they trying to hurt me. You're going to try and convince me that that's what God wants. 1 minute you saying hallelujah with me, the next minute you watching somebody sit there and destroy me, and you're just shaking your head. If that's love, I don't need that type of love. It's not the God that I serve. Sitting there, if you read this book, you would understand in the Proverbs it says, a brother is born for the day of adversity. A brother is born for strife. And so when you stop and you look at it, you sit down and you be like, well, what are we doing if we're not here to help one another? What are we doing if we just here to laugh at one another and see each other's demise? That's not what God will want. God is judging them because he says, in the day that thou didst stand aloof, you acted like you didn't know what was going on. In the day that strangers carried away his substance. You imagine your next door neighbor, you watching somebody clean out their house. And you like, oh, somebody getting robbed over there. I ain't like him anyway. What he do to deserve all that? Okay, they rob him. You go to work. You come back the next day. They cleared your house out. Now, somebody needs to say something. Oh, why'd they do this? Blah, 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 blah. Like, listen, your neighbor across the street, something happened to him also. Did you see anything? Crickets. Just cricket. Well, I thought people were just kind of moving in. I didn't know what was happening. You know, people do construction on their home. They had to move their stuff. Begs to ask the question. Let's not be funny with one another. It's not worth it, and it's not what God wanted. And cast lots upon Jerusalem, even thou was as one of them. So you'd be like, they stealing, and you like, oh, listen, after they get finished, let me go in there and see what they have so I can take it. And I sit down and I say, you know what Edom took? They took what everybody else didn't want. The way we served our God. It goes on to read.
But thou shouldest not have gazed on the day of thy brother in the day of his disaster.
Not at all.
Neither shouldest thou have rejoiced over the children of Yehuda.
That's right.
In the day of their destruction. Neither shouldest thou have spoken proudly in the day of their distress.
So see.
Thou shouldest not have entered into the gate of my people.
Edom was in there. Come on.
Yea, thou shouldest not have gazed on their affliction in the day of their calamity.
Nor have laid hands on their substance. What are you doing? What are you doing? I understand them, but you're his brother. What are you doing? I gave them the command not to touch you. And you should know, if anybody knows, you should know that I put strength in his hand to destroy anybody. And I commanded him, talking about the children of Israel, God talking to Edom. I commanded him not to put his hands on you. And in turn, when I was judging him, you stood by and you took some of their substance also. You're guilty. You ain't right. I understand he's wrong, but you're wrong also. That's the part we don't understand. You sit down and you be like, you're so busy judging somebody else, you can't think that you're wrong in the way you're judging somebody else. Yeah, they're wrong, but you're wrong also. They're bad, but they're not that bad. But for you, all you can do is stop and think about how you feel about the person, so you're going to join in on the act. And the thing about Esau is he should have known that Jacob is a blessed people. Okay, yeah, they're wrong. They're still a blessed people. You sit down, you could come and talk to me about my child and tell me what's wrong with my child. Yes, my child is wrong. I'll take care of it. That don't mean I want to see my child dead.
Correct.
So what's going on here? Are you, when you come and tell me about my child, are you correcting my child? Or are you just here to make sure that my child gets in trouble until my child is destroyed? So when I talk about nationhood, when I talk about brotherhood, when I talk about sisterhood, it's high time we stop talking about each other, Israel. I'm not saying don't bring up the bad parts. Bring it up, but let's talk about the solution at the same time. Where's the love at? Where's the thing that shows that you really think about me as a brother? But no, I sit down and I talk to you every day about somebody who I don't like, but the person who I don't like, I never address that person. That's not good. That's not how God created us. Come on, let's get through this.
Neither shouldest thou have stood in the crossway to cut off those of his that escaped. Neither shouldest thou have delivered up those of his that did remain in the day of distress. For the day of Yahweh is near upon all the nations. And thou hast done, it shall be done unto thee.
Read that again.
As
From the
thou
top of
hast
15. No, from the top of 15. Read that.
The day of Yahweh is near upon
All the nations. Come
As
on.
thou hast done, it shall be done unto thee.
Don't tell me what goes around doesn't come around. Of course, what goes around comes around. Yeah, I got mine, but you're getting yours too. And just because you think I don't know what you did, God knows what you did. So when the Most High says the day of Yahweh is upon all nations, everybody's going to get their due. Yeah, I'm getting mine, but Israel was first of all nations. God introduced himself to us as a nation. So, of course, we got ours first. But as you have done, it's going to be done to you. Guess what? There's going to be one day where you're going to be looking for the people that you thought that you thought were your friends, and they're going to watch and sit back and see you be destroyed. And you're going to be looking for Israel to treat you as a brother. And you know how people do. They use the word of the Most High God, and then stop. Ain't you my brother, though? And how did I start this off? There's a cutoff point, right? There's a line. You wasn't talking all that brother talk when it was time for me to get my licks. Now all of a sudden you want me to be a brother? No. Cry out to God. See what he does for you. I know we don't like it. I know it may seem a little bit harsh, but I'm using scriptural evidence to provide for you that you cannot always accept any and everybody. There's even a point where God stops and says, this person is no longer deserving to live in the earth. It goes on to read.
Thy dealing shall return upon thy
Own head. So
As
see.
ye have drunk upon my holy mountain, so shall all the nations drink continually. Yea, they shall drink and swallow down, and shall be as though they had not been. But in Mount Zion there shall be those that escape, and it shall be holy. And the house of Yaakov shall possess their possession.
Now, and we see that in these days and times. As we stop and we look at Israel, and we look at the state of Israel, and we stop and we see the different nations that are living in the nation of Israel, and we stop and we look at the prophecy of Obadiah. Because that's what we're talking about as we get into the book of Daniel, and we see the different things going on, and that there would be a period of time that all of these things would seem weird to us until they actually came to pass. He's sitting down and he's saying, everybody who drunk on my holy mountain, who took possession of my land. That's why in the land of Israel right now, you will never see a soul state. You won't stop and see different people. You got different people saying, this portion of land of mine, and this portion of land of mine, and this portion of land is mine. And we sit down and we're looking at the Yemenites and we're like, yeah, but what about them? Because they've been there the whole time. I understand your beef with the Palestinians. Not that I agree, but I understand what you're saying it is. But what about them? Oh, because you take advantage of the poor. You take advantage of those who can't fight you because they don't have the confederacy with friends as you have with other powerful nations. And so God is sitting down and telling them, for as ye have drunk upon my holy mountain, so shall all the nations drink continually. Yea, they shall drink and shall swallow down and shall be as though they had not been. I'm going to stop and I'm going to destroy you in such a way you won't realize you're destroyed. It reads.
And the house of Yaakov shall be a fire, and the house of Joseph a flame, and the house of Esau for stubble. And it shall kindle in them and devour them. And there shall not be any remaining of the house of Esau, for Yahweh hath spoken. And they of the south shall possess the mount of Esau, and they of the lowland of the Philistines. And they shall possess the field of Ephraim, and the field of Samaria. And Benjamin shall possess Gilead. And the captivity of this host of the children of Israel that are among the Canaanites, even unto Zarephath. And the captivity of Jerusalem that is in Sepharad shall possess the cities of the south.
And saviors
shall come up on Mount Zion to judge the mount of Esau, and the kingdom shall be Yahweh's. Hallelujah.
Hallelujah. And part of this prophecy can also be cross-referenced. Well, not of this prophecy, but somebody who's prophesying about the same thing in the book of Jeremiah in the 49th chapter. And also, I believe, in the book of Amos in the in the 12th chapter where he talks about Edom and Esau and the different things going on. Hoping and praying that you got something out of what I said, and that the Most High God finds these words acceptable to be spoken before his people. As I bid you all in the tongue of our forefathers, Shabbat Shalom Lakem. And at this time I ask you all to rise, even as I call up the teacher of the day, Chief Kohath ben Levi ben Yisrael Baruch Haba. I don't know how I forgot that quick. Yeah, okay.
Hallelujah.
Hallelujah.
Hallelujah. Chief. God bless you, Chief.
Be seated, please. Hallelujah. Hallelujah. Praise the mighty Yah. Praise the mighty Yah. First and foremost, I want to thank the Most High God for life.
Amen.
Yeah. Thanking him for waking us up this morning. You know, if you're the Israelite, if you're the God-fearing Israelite, you always want to thank God when you open your eyes in the morning. You know, we are the people. I remember when you didn't know about God, you said the alarm clock wake me up, and it sounded good, right?
Right.
But you take that same alarm clock and put it beside a dead man, it won't wake him up.
That's right.
So that means God woke us up.
That's right.
You saw that work?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. The alarm clock wake me up this morning. Yeah? All right then. Put it beside the dead man and see it work. It won't work. So that means the Most High God woke us up. And we need to give him thanks. That's right. You open them eyes in the morning and you use your bathroom and you wash up, you need to say thank God. If you're the God-fearing person. That's how that works. You know, and you know, acknowledgement to God don't hurt none. It doesn't hurt you none. It's letting you know that that's your defense, that's your rear ward, that's your everything. That's your everything. You know, you got to go to work, some of us go to work, some of us, you know, we do work, and we have to deal with the people that are outside that don't know God. And there's violence out there, there's all type of stuff out there. You understand? Especially us that commute in train and buses, you have your eyes open at all time because there's a lot of violence going on out there, unnecessary violence. And there's a lot of people out there that mentally unstable. There's a lot of instability out there. People have hard life out there that things befall them, we don't know what started, and you might just tick a button and it's all gone. And the whole train gone crazy. Yeah. So, you know, you have to ask God to please protect you while you're going out there to work and see if you look for your living. You know, let's go into this great history here of my father Jacob. You know, our father Jacob is teaching us what a man should be.
Yes.
Okay? If I work in a place and they change my wages 10 times, I leave it.
Yeah.
And go on unemployment. Not Jacob. Jacob stayed here and worked with it.
Right.
I'm serious about that.
Yeah.
If I work in a place and don't get a raise, I'm making a complaint. I don't want nobody to diminish my whatever I'm making. And Jacob stand the test of time. And this is his family. This is his uncle. And the thing that befallen with his uncle is like, please, I mean family. When we be stopped? But he persevered. Because he didn't come to his uncle for a wife. Trust me. He came there because his brother was going to murder him. That's how it started out. The mother says, go to my brother Laban because your brother is touching to murder you when your father dead. And then for her to send him to Padanaram, she had to make an excuse to her husband and said, if Jacob married one of these slipper draggers, what my life would be. That didn't sound too good? Because you got to remember, they don't keep their foot in the house.
Right.
And Isaac don't want him to marry one of those women. Right. Esau married two of them. He married Judith and he married Basemat. Yeah. And it was a grievance to Rebekah and her father. Yeah. And he don't want Jacob to do that. So by she trying to send him by the brother, by not telling the husband that the other son want to kill him, she said, well, I don't want him to marry one of the super dragons. And that's how he ended up in Padanaram. And she says, while your brother anger assuaged, I'll send and get you back. And it's 20 years and she haven't sent and get him back. Matter of fact, we don't know what happened to Ribkah. Yeah. The story don't tell you what happened to Ribkah. The story does not tell you what happened to his mother. This is what I'm using empathy here. I'm in the story. Right. That's what I did about this story. I went into the side of the story. And he have 4 wives that he didn't ask for. He married, he worked hard for one that he loved. And he ended up with 4 wives. And the book don't say that, but you think bickering wasn't taking place with them 4 wives? Oh, yeah. You think them children wasn't fighting every minute? Yes, that's what take place in that type of family setting. He's my father first before your father. As the Israelite, that's how they're behaving. If they're Israelite, that's how they behave. I born before you. What are you talking about? That's all going about. And he working hard for his uncle, and the blessing that God put forth upon him, the uncle is reaping all the sweet about it. Yeah. The uncle, when the story began, when he just reached Padanaram, it says Rachel came with Jacob, with Laban sheep, a little bit of sheep. With a little bit. She didn't have a whole drove of animal when she came to the well. Just a little bit. And since Jacob been there, God blessing Laban, and Jacob is instead, he just holding on tight because he have children. You understand? He came with nothing. He came with a staff over that jabber, and that's it. He don't have anything. And he's working for his uncle. But while everything is finished and he realized that his uncle is not the happy guy like he was before, now his sons are looking at him in a different eye. It's time for him to leave. Yeah. But God told him, it's time for you to pack up and get out. It's time for you to get up and go the place where you says you'll come back and build a house for me and praise me. Bethel, the place that was called Luz before. So God told him, get up and pack up. Pack the children up, pack the wife, and get out. And he went, and his trust is in God. His trust is in the Most High God. You understand? His trust in his God, and he packed up his stuff, when his father-in-law went to shear his sheep. It took about 3 days before he can find him, so he said, let's go. And his wife said, well, Dave, wait, let's go. Be packing up and go. And they left. And the story came, Laban and them make together, and Laban tried to abuse him, and God told him, don't say nothing evil nor good to Jacob. That's it. Forget about that. All right? So now, he on his way to the place that God told him to go back, to Bethel. But his mind is on his brother because he didn't fix that thing before he left. And he's scared of that man. The brother is a killer. Esau deal with blood a lot. Jacob was a man in tent, and Esau is the one that goes and hunt. And he watching his brother flay that animal, that big venison. Cut out the liver, the guts, and the blood flying. And he's seen that. He never did that. And he's scared of that brother. And he knew what took place, how everything went down. So he had to pass through Esau's eye. So he's sending messengers to Esau and tell he want to appease him. Let's read and see how that's going to work out here.
All right. We're in the book of Genesis, the 32nd chapter, starting at the 4th verse. Hallelujah.
Hallelujah.
And Jacob sent messages before him to Esau, his brother, unto the land of Seir, the field of Edom.
Okay.
And he commanded them, saying, thus shall ye say unto my lord Esau, thus saith thy servant Yaakov, Jacob, I have sojourned with Laban, and stayed until now.
Okay.
I have oxen, and asses, and flocks, and men servants, and maid servants, and I have sent to tell my lord, that I may find favor in thy sight. And the messengers returned to Jacob, saying, we came to thy brother Esau. And moreover, he cometh to meet thee, and 400 men with him.
What you talking about?
What's that about?
What is that all about? I just telling you what happened to me in 20 years. I got asses, I got flocks, I got a lot of stuff. But you talking about coming towards me with 400 men? Why 400 men?
Right. Coming with gifts.
But it's war?
Yeah.
I'm looking for peace here.
Yeah.
I don't have no armament to fight you back with this.
Right.
So guess what? Panic gonna set in.
Yeah.
Panic after set in because I have children with me. I have a couple of men servants with me, but I don't have nobody to war with me. And my brother is coming. I don't know how he feel about me still, because my mother told me that he was planning to kill me when my father leave here. So I don't know the animosity and how he feel about me still. And he come with 400 soldiers. So panic gonna set in.
Yeah.
And I can imagine that. That would happen to any one of us. That we not going down like that. It happened to any one of us. It's a serious thing that's going to take place here. Right. He's in dire strait of his God. He wants his God right now. He needs help because his brother coming with 400 soldiers, and he know the type of brother that he have. Right. Let's read on and see what's going on here.
Then Jacob was greatly afraid and was distressed.
Huh?
And he divided the people that was with him, and the flocks and the herds and the camels into 2 camps. Right. And he said, if Esau come to the one camp and smite it, then the camp which is left shall escape. And Jacob said, O God of my father Abraham, and God of my father Yitzchak, O Yehovah, who saidest unto me, return unto thy country and to thy kindred, and I will do thee good. I am now worthy of all thy mercies, and of all the truth which thou hast shown unto thy servant. For with my staff I passed over this Jordan, and now I am become 2 camps. Deliver me, I pray thee, from the hand of my brother, from the hand of Esau, for I fear him, lest he come and smite me, the mother with the children.
He said he feared him. He didn't hold back. Right. I'm scared of him. And that's the way you speak to God.
Right. True.
You don't speak to God if you're the God-fearing person. You say, you know the thing that I did. It doesn't work like that.
Right.
It doesn't work like that. God don't want to hear it like that. God want to hear your heart.
Yes.
He want to hear what you have in that heart. Tell me what's ailing you. And Jacob tell him, I fear him. Please help me. And that's the God we serve. He want to hear it like that. And it's not a shameful thing. He's a man.
Right.
Jacob is a man. He have children. He have wives. But he telling the God that he's serve and love that he fear his brother. And there's nothing wrong to be fearful. Nothing wrong to be fearful. Nothing wrong with that. Life is like that sometimes. Sometimes you get in a situation that you have to back off. And you need to back off because the upper hand is on top of you and you need to say, you know what, let me fold this and get away from it. You can't just tackle every event that takes place in your life. It doesn't work like that. If a wise man will understand that and say, you know what, man, I'll take the right. I'm out. God, I saw it go. But you see how we implore and speak to his God that he fear of his brother and please protect him. And that's the way we have to do. And you know, I've learned a lot from this book, you know, and I'm thank God that he opened my eyes about life because I use all the pattern in this book in my life. Mm-hmm. And I'm not more what you call what you want to say, more righteous than anybody here, but I use all the pattern here. Anytime I get in trouble, I go to God.
Yeah.
Anytime I go to trouble, I go to God. Yeah. And I know he's not tired of hearing from me. Anytime I get in trouble, I go to God. I don't go to my wife, I go to God. Mm-hmm. Trust me. And she knows what's going on. I'm going to pray because I have a spot in my place, in my apartment, that is special for God. And that's where I kneel and cry out. He's in charge. Not me. It's too hard for me to bear. So I have to give it to him. It's not hard. You're never ashamed to pray to God to help you. That's right. And I bring all type of problem to God. And I don't say, I'm here again. I say, no, I know you can hear me. Yes. Please help me. I remember one time they made a mistake with my rent. They said I owed them, $4,000? I put the letter in front of him. I said, you see what's going on here, God? That's the way I rock. Because the king Hezekiah did that. The king Hezekiah did that when Shadrach the king was going against him. He brought the letter and showed it to God. I did the same thing. And the next week I called him, the rent went down. I said, see there? The Most High. Torah YAH. And it makes me feel good because I got a protection second to none. Yeah, I got a protection second to none. My father couldn't help me. But the Most High God is there. And that's what I depend on all time. You know, let's read on.
Verse 13. And thou sayest, I will surely do thee good, and make thy seed as the sand of the sea, which cannot be numbered for multitude.
Yeah.
And he lodged there that night, and took of that which he had with him a present for Esau his brother. 200 she-goats and 20 he-goats. 200 ewes and 20 rams. 30 milk camels and their coats. 40 kine and 10 bulls. 20 she-asses and 10 foals. He delivered them into the hand of his servants. Every drove by itself, and said unto his servants, pass over before me, and put his face into his drove and drove. And he commanded the foremost, saying, when Esau my brother meet thee, and ask thee, saying,
who art thou?
And whither goest thou? And whose are these before thee? Then thou shalt say, they are thy servant Yaakov's. It is a present sent unto my Lord, even unto Esau.
Right.
Behold, he also is behind us.
Now he figured out maybe he have a lot of riches. He have riches for a king. That's a lot of animals that Jacob must have up there. That when you count that up, it's about 480 or 520 in animals. A lot of animals that Jacob that God blessed him with. And he figured he can give his brother some, and he will appease that anger that maybe he have. So he says, you know, I will give him some of this, some of that, and see if I can appease his anger. Because Jacob is not God. So he can't read Esau's heart to know if he's okay, or he miss him, or he love him, or what. He can't read his heart. He know that when I left him, he was angry with me. That's all he know. Yeah, that's all. And no cell phone. I like that. No cell phone to call him and say, yo, what's up? I'm over here by Laban. Everything good? No, everything not good. Click. There's no cell phone. There's no intercom between them, so he don't know how we feel. He don't know how we feel. So he's trying, well, if I have enough, maybe he didn't make it the way I made it, so I could give him, make him start alive. And that's all Jacob doing, you know. Just weights and balance. I have a lot, and maybe you don't have it like that because I took away the blessing, so maybe I'll give him this. This is the blessing that I've given him. That's what Jacob is saying. Let's read on, my brother.
And he commanded also the second and the third, and all that followed the drove, saying, and this man shall ye speak unto Esau. When you find him, he shall say, moreover, behold, thy servant Yaakov is behind us. For he said, I will appease him with the present that goes before me. And afterward I will see his face. Peradventure he will accept me.
See there, peradventure he will accept me. With all the gift that I gave him, maybe he might just change his mind from hurting me. That's all it is. Jacob is a man, a godly man. And he's trying to find favor with man and God. That's what he's doing, trying to find favor with God and man. That's all. And he figured we'll appease him in that way. Let's read on and see what's going on here.
So the present passed over before him, and he himself lodged that night in the king.
Okay.
Verse 23.
23, yeah.
And he rose up that night, and took his 2 wives and his 2 handmaids, and his 11 children, and passed over the ford of the Yabok. And he took them, and set them over the stream, and sent over that which he had. And Jacob was left alone. And they wrestled a man with him until the breaking of the day.
He want to meditate now. My brother Yisrael just talked about meditation. You need time for yourself when things come upon you to meditate what you can, how you can solve it. That's how that works. You're not getting rid of your wife and your children. You just need time for yourself. Sometimes you need that time. That's me time. My brother Yisrael just said that. And that's what Jacob's doing. He wants some time to sort this out. How we going to play this out? Because your mind starts traveling a lot, you know. And when you frighten, your mind race like a bullet, like a racehorse. You can't sleep. And you know, there's no Excedrin. Yeah, there's no Excedrin, there's no pills for that. Yeah, there's no Excedrin, there's no Tylenol, none of that. Because he have a big headache here. But he's trusting that God will bring him through. Let's read on and see what's going on.
And when he saw that he prevailed not against him, he touched the hollow of his thigh. And the hollow of Yaakov's thigh was strained as he wrestled with him.
Yes.
And he said, let me go, for the day
He's
breaks.
breaking.
He said, I will not let thee go except thou
Bless me. I need a blessing.
What is thy name? He said, Jacob. He said, thy name shall be called no more Jacob, but Yisrael. For thou hast striven with God and with men and hast prevailed. Okay, you have striven with, his name is changed up now. God has given him a double blessing now. Your name is power now, Israel. You have striven with man and God and prevailed. You succeed in this hard time. Okay? And you don't, nobody knows where the man came from. He just appeared. And that's God. God is there to test him out. You understand? And it's not easy to wrestle or strive with a messenger. And Jacob hold on to him tight with the fear. He grabbed onto him. He's not letting him go. And that is so great about my father Jacob. This is the strength that he have. Yeah, he may be not the warrior like Esau, but he have a strength in his faith and his God, and he can persevere anything. That's the good part about my father Jacob. Let's read on. And Jacob asked him and said, tell me, I pray thee, thy name.
Okay.
And he said, wherefore is it that thou dost ask after my name?
Uh-huh.
And he blessed him there. And Jacob called the name of the place Peniel.
Peniel.
For I have seen God face to face, and my life is preserved.
Hallelujah. Hallelujah. I'm feeling good now. Now I'm feeling a little good because God have presented himself with a messenger, and he named him place now. And so his mind's a little clearing up now. But it still have that brother on his mind with the 400 soldiers. That's not going away. Yeah, it's still on the way. Yeah, that's like a bad dream. It's not moving. It's still coming towards you to meet you. So but at least God has reassured him that your fight with me and man gonna be okay. Okay, let's read on.
And the sun rose up upon him as he passed over Peniel, and he looked upon his thigh. Therefore the children of Israel eat not the sinew of the thigh vein upon the hollow of the thigh to this day.
Okay.
Because he touched the hollow of Yaakov's thigh, even the sinew of the thigh vein.
That's all the messenger had to get away from him. Otherwise Jacob wouldn't let him go. You have to touch him. That's why he let him go. Otherwise he wouldn't let him go. So, that's all that was. Let's go back. Let's continue this great history here, Jacob.
33, hallelujah.
Hallelujah.
And Jacob lifted up his eyes and looked, and behold, Esau came.
Bam, ba, bam, bam. Bam, ba, bam, bam, bam.
And he divided the children unto Leah and unto Rachel and unto the two handmaids.
Yeah.
And he put the handmaids and their children foremost, and Leah and her children after, and Rachel and Joseph hindermost.
I heard the story. I heard the history. Brothers teach that history before, and they think that Jacob doing wrong the way he set up the family structure with Esau. But put yourself in this place. Since you know that well, what fight did, try setting it up your way to see it work out. Jacob is panic right now, and he's just doing things that he think that's the right way to do it. Right. You can't condemn him for things like that. We does that a lot, and you're not in the guys. But my father said, put yourself in his shoes, and then you see. Right. Put yourself in his shoes, and then you'll see if you can work it out the way he's working it out. Because we all can stay from the outside and say, oh, I don't want to do it like that, man. Right. That's a different way. You do worse than that. It doesn't befall you, so that's why you can run your mouth like that. But if that's something like that befall you, you find yourself in dire straits. You don't know how to move. And Jacob just doing normal. He just working because he nervous. Let's read on. Not that he don't love the children, not that he don't love the handmaid, not that he don't love his wife. He just setting up the way he think he should set up. That's all. Read on, my brother.
Verse 3. And he himself passed over before them and bowed himself to the ground 7 times.
You see, he set them up in front, but now he went in front. He went in front and bowed down and he bowing down to his brother. That's a lot of humility. He's showing him that humility so that he can't hurt him. Because Esau's not a king. Esau's not a king. And he bowing down to him to let him know that, you know, I'm at your mercy. I'm at your mercy. And I didn't mean to hurt you none. I didn't mean, however it went, it wasn't my fault. He's doing all of that to appease him. He's doing all of that to appease his brother. Read on, my brother.
He bowed himself down to the ground 7 times until he came near to his brother. And Esau ran to meet him and embraced him and fell on his neck and kissed him, and they wept.
Hey! You see the Most High God? You see God in the matter? You see God in the matter? And he glad to see his brother, little brother. He glad to see his little brother. You haven't seen him in 20 years. And he hold him and kiss him and hug him and they cry together. And God is in the matter. God is involved in the whole thing. And it turned out very well. And it gives Jacob a peace of mind now. You know, he get a relief from what he thought would have befallen him. You understand? Because he went to God. He went to the Most High God, and he makes sure that everything going to be well with him. Because he promised him from the first time when he saw the angel, the messenger going up and going down. He said, I'll bring you back to this place. That's a promise that God said. I'm not finished what I have to do with you yet. He promised him that. But naturally, I know Jacob man wasn't in all of that because, you know, he was frightened. So let's read on.
And he lifted up his eyes and saw the women and the children and said, who are these with thee?
Yeah.
And he said, the children whom God hath graciously given thy servant. And the handmaids came near, they and their children, and they bowed down, and they also and her children came near and bowed down. And after came Joseph near and Raquel, and they bowed down.
You see Jacob? What he said? The children that the Most High God give me.
Yeah.
You understand? He know where the children came from. He didn't say, well, you know, I drink a lot of Guinness stout, and you know, a lot of with egg and punch. He didn't say all of that. He didn't say all of that. He said the children that God gave me. You know, I drink a lot of sea moss and icing glass. No, he didn't say that. He didn't say that. He said the children that God gave me. God gave you the children. Yeah, graciously, yeah. You know, so you need to stop drinking that. Let's read on.
Verse 8. And he said, what meanest thou by all this camp which I met? And he said, to find favor in the sight of my Lord.
To find favor. He explained him, just to find favor in your sight, my brother. Yeah, no, there's not be no beef, and that's what I want to do. Find favor in your sight. Yeah, read on.
And Esau said, I have enough, my brother. Let that which thou hast be thine.
Yeah.
And Jacob said, nay, I pray thee.
Yeah.
Now I found
Favor
favor
in thy sight, receive my present
at my
hand.
For as much as I see thy face, as one seeth the face of God. And thou was pleased with me.
Hallelujah. You, yes,
yeah.
yeah.
My gift that is brought to thee.
Yes.
Because God hath dealt
graciously.
Because I have enough. And he urged him.
And he took it. He urged him to take it. He urged it and said, yeah, I'll take that. Since you forced me, I'll take it. Yeah, I didn't really want to take, I'll take it. Grab that stuff and let's take it home. That's our history. It's a great history. Trust me. It's not Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs. This is real history. This is about our forefathers. All right? This is our forefathers. This is not King Arthur and the Round Table. All that is fanfare. You're fiction. This is real life. This is real life history. This is real life. Our forefathers, how they went about life. And now we need to watch it and how we can follow it or deter from it. There's a lot of stuff that we need to practice that inside here. And it will make us a wise and understanding people. Because God said that. The Most High God said that. Let's read on.
And he said, let us take our journey and let us go. And I'll go before thee. And he said unto him, my Lord knows that the children are tender, and that the flocks and herds giving suck our kids and meat. And if they overdrive them one day, all the flocks will die. Let my Lord, I pray thee, pass over before his servant. And I will journey on gently, according to the pace of the cattle that are before me, and according to the pace of the children, until I come unto my Lord, unto Seir.
Yeah, I'm not going with you, Esau. Now, I'm going to tell you, I'm going back to what Jacob used to be a supplanter. He said, that all this taking place with the children too small, and you can't drive the children, the camel too small, everything too small. Just go ahead and I maybe pass through your area. He gone back to Jacob, the supplanter. He said, no, everything is good now. He's feeling good now. So he said, no, you go ahead, and then I'll meet up with you. I'll catch up. Right now the children too small, and the herd is too small, and I want to kill them out. Okay, let's read on and see what they said.
And Esau said, let me now leave with you some of the folk that are with me. And he said,
don't leave nobody with me.
Let me find favor in the sight of my Lord. Mm-hmm. So Esau returned that day on his way into Seir.
Yes.
Jacob journeyed to Succoth and built him a house and made booths for his cattle. Therefore the name of the place is called Succoth.
I don't know why he went to Succoth. I don't know why he built a house to Succoth. He's supposed to go back to Beit El. That's what God told him to do, go back to Beit El. Like go straight down to Queens. Don't move off. Don't go all over the place. Just go straight to Queens. That's where I want you to go. I'm really building a house now in Succoth, building booth in Succoth. And when you said booth, I grew up seeing booth. Booth can be big like this, Yeah, it's made of the wood and house top, and they put leaf on top of it. I've seen booth. I came from Panama. I've seen booth. You go to the countryside and people build booth. A booth is not a small, we look at a booth like a small thing. No, booth is a big place like this. Because you have about 5 or 6 children inside a booth. Yeah, people that live in the way out in the countryside, they build their own booth. They call it kiosk. That's what they call it. And I've seen booth. You get some tool, you get wood and set up, and then they put the plank on top and put grass on top of it so that the rain don't come through, yeah. And they don't have no cement, it's pure dirt. And the dirt keep the place cool. Because Panama is 98 degrees all day, every day. Yeah, stay hot. Stay hot. And they still drink soup down there. So don't look too pity. We drink soup with our heat. Yeah, we 98 degrees, we drink soup and white rice. Don't feel bad for us. read on, my brother.
And Jacob came in peace to the city of Shechem, which is in the land of Canaan, when he came from Padan Aram, and camped before the city. And he bought the parcel of ground where he had spread his tent at the hand of the children of Hamor, Shechem's father, for 100 pieces of money. And he erected there an altar and called it El Elohim.
Okay, like I say, he bear off. Now he bought a piece of land now, so he owning a piece of land, which he's supposed to go back to. He needs to go back to Canaan land, where his father is. He's buying outside land. He's dealing with the Havite. I think check it, and then the Havite, but the Canaanite. And he bought a piece of land from Carmel. That's the king of the place. If they're doing business together, that means they're seeing each other. Because if I'm doing business with you, Carmel not coming by himself to sell the land. Somebody coming with Carmel, maybe his bodyguard, whatever. But he bought a piece of land in a place that, hey, he did what he did. That's all they did. That's my father, and that's the venture that he took. All right, let's read on and see how that's going to work out.
Chapter 34, Hallelujah.
Hallelujah.
And Dinah, the daughter of Levi, whom she had born unto Yaakov, went out to see the daughters of the land. And Shechem, the son of Hamor, the Hivite, the prince of the land, saw her. And he took her, and lay with her, and humbled her. And his soul did cleave unto Dinah, the daughter of Yaakov, and he loved the damsel, and spoke comfortingly unto the damsel. And Shechem spoke unto his father Hamor, saying, Get me this damsel to wife.
All right, where we at?
Verse 5.
Verse 5? Okay, good. Let's go.
Now Yaakov heard that he had defiled Dinah, his daughter, and his sons were with his cattle in the field. And Yaakov held his peace until they came.
Okay, I don't know, sometimes children think that they have everything in control, but that's a foreign land. That place is foreign. That is not Padanaram where your uncle was, your family was. This is a different type of people. and you going out there without one of your brothers, things can befall you. I reckon Jacob didn't know that Dinah left because they tell you can't go out there. You can't go out there. You don't know these people, and you have to be careful of you going out there because we don't know. She want to go and see the girls, or what the custom is, what the things that they do, and without the father consent. I reckon that's what, because Jacob would tell you you can't go out there. Wait till one of your brothers come, and then they take you out there. You need a chaperone in a place that you don't know. And I think but she went out on her own. I guess she's a big dancer now. She had age, because they're in the place for a while now. They're there for a while. You got to remember that when he spoke to Esau, he said the children are small and the herds are small, so they're growing up here. Time has passed. Let's read this thing here now. Time passed. She's a big girl now. You know, she's feeling good about herself, pretty. You know, and the guy out there, the prince. And the custom in that land, maybe since he's the prince, he can grab a young girl and have his way with them. One never know, do one. You understand? That's all I'm saying. But he don't know the custom of us as Israelites, that you have to ask the father for the damsel. That's why God said, don't mix with these people because they have a different way of doing things. That's right. That's why God said don't mix with them, because they will defile you and they think that everything is okay, but it's not okay. That's all it is. And you know, for the prince to just see her and take her, because most people say it's rape. It wasn't rape. I can show you what rape is here. It wasn't rape. It wasn't rape, because they said, well, why is he talking to her to comfort her? Because she knows she did wrong. She know that she wasn't supposed to do what she did without her father consent. So he probably talking to her like, babe, I'm going to marry you. Nobody rape you and want to marry you right away. It doesn't work like that. Marry you, rape her, marry you? Somebody sick somewhere. Either she's sick or he's sick. You rape me and then you want to marry me? And where's the love? So that doesn't work like that. You know, you don't rape a woman and then you want to marry her right away. Get me the dancer. It doesn't work like that. I mean, I'm talking real stuff here. I'm not talking fable here. I'm talking you don't rape a woman and she's going to marry her tomorrow. Women don't go like that. Women don't accept things like that. I don't care how fine you think you are. She don't accept things like that. All right? It doesn't work like that with women. They don't have that type of, they're not that soft like that. Women don't do that. So, you know, when he said that, it's between him and Dinah. And I'm putting it my way. The book don't say that, but if Carmel is coming to sell a piece of land to Jacob, the prince coming with him. He already seen that little young lady. He already seen Dinah. And the book don't say that, but for him to just want to hold her down and the two of them, because that's consensual. That's right. Trust me, that was consensual. Amen. And Dinah's still in the house. Dinah, we're going to read it. Dinah is still in the house. She's not there when the bargain taking place about this. I went ahead of myself. Let's go soft. Because I want us to understand that's life. Life is like that. Life can take a turn that you don't want it to take a turn, but it take a turn. And you know, we love our daughters. We love our daughters. We love our mothers. You know, and we don't want nothing to befall them that not supposed to. It don't go right. We love up here. But you know what? And our mothers, women do a lot for men. You know, women do a lot for men. Women does a lot for men. You understand? Women do childbearing. That's not no joke. You know, when a woman decides to have a child for you, that's not no joke. Because that nice figure that you saw with her, that can crumble. After she have that child, then things drop, everything go to place, stretch mark come in, a lot of stuff taking place. I'm talking real here. This is real talk. We are growing up here. You know, things happen. And you have to make sure that you make sure and make them feel comfortable in every move that you make. Because, you know, you have a mother, you have sisters, you have aunt, And you don't want nobody to abuse your loved one.
That's right.
You understand? You don't want nobody to abuse you. Your daughter, your niece, whatever. You don't want that. But like I said, sometimes our daughters make wrong move and they get in trouble. I have a lot of women cousins, plenty. And my mother and my aunt and my would say, be careful or you're out there because I remember growing up, women, my mother never saying, she think because she's pregnant, she's going to keep the man. No, it doesn't work like that. It doesn't work like that. If that wasn't to put at a union to marriage, he don't want the responsibility. He out the door. You know, so don't get pregnant. Don't get pregnant because he don't want the responsibility. Unless he want the responsibility, and then you could deal with it. But if he don't want it, you got to be careful what you're doing. I mean, everybody growing up and they do growing up stuff, but you got to be careful with yourself. You have to be responsible in everything that you do, so that later on it don't come back and bite you. That's all I'm saying here. And we does a lot of mistake as a people. We're not thinking, we're not taking the right venue, and we're just doing things because we want to do things. But it doesn't work like that. Because we don't want to listen to our parents. My brother just said that. Some of us don't want to listen to our parents, and we run into a brick wall, and then what? Yeah, you're running right back to your parents or your grandmother. You're running right back to your mother or your grandmother because you didn't listen to what they tell you. You know, you have to, you don't put the cart before the horse. You know, and this move here that Dina made, it was a wrong move. It was a wrong move because she was supposed to go out there with a chaperone. That's all they said. And that would not take place if she went out there with one of the brothers. And it happened, but then what we going? Let's see what we can work with it now. Let's see where we at.
Verse 6.
Okay, good.
And Hamor, the father of Shechem, went out unto Jacob to speak with him.
Uh-huh.
And the sons of Jacob came in from the field when they heard it.
Uh-huh.
And the men were grieved, and they were very wroth, because he had wrought a vile deed in Israel in line with Jacob's daughter, which thing ought not be done.
There it is. You know, that's what it was. That's what it was. And you know, you talk about rape. Right now there's a case going on in Kohath Beach. Yeah, Kohath Beach. A young man, a young lady was jogging 2 years ago, and somebody raped her and strangled her and did what they did with her. And the way the way things turning is way out of whack, and it smells very fishy. Because they did a lot of DNA testing for about 150 people, and then it started out that this young man was walking around in Kohath Beach, lollygagging, just walking around, and a lieutenant by the name of Russo decided to follow him in his car for 1 hour. That's what the lieutenant said. He was walking around, and he followed him for 2 hours, driving around his car, following him for 1 hour. And the hour passed, he called 911. The police came, they searched Channel Lewis. After they searched him, they didn't find anything on him. And they asked him, what are you doing here? He said, well, I'm looking for somewhere to eat. They took him and they drove him to Rockaway. Way out of where he come from East New York. So he's all the way over there. And they took him to a McDonald's over there. Now the case is trying. That same Lieutenant Russo come with a news story saying that he was with a crowbar. The case smelled like the Grand Central Park 5. It sounds like Hurricane Carter. You know, they're showing you that the investigator, Detective Brown and Detective Quesada, and you guys must ask, why you know all them people there? Because they're doing evil. That's right. They sitting down in the investigation room, and they telling him what to say. They say, yeah, they coerce, yeah. And when you look on Channel Lewis, the light is on, but nobody home. When you look on Channel Lewis, it's like this. Right. And I said, well, if she's a jogger, she jogged there every day. She in full condition.
That's right.
Out the world, he caught up on her.
That's right.
You understand? And they railroading Channel Lewis because they can't find the real culprit. Now, there's two different DNAs on the body. They say his own is on the phone and on the back, but then there's a fruit bottle that have another DNA. Now, the skin that she have in her nail don't match Channel Lewis. So then, how that work? But God is in the matter because, you know why God is in the matter? Because his parents don't have an high-power lawyer. They're dealing with the legal aid society. And 5 of the jury say, hell no.
Out of 12. 5 said no.
Go with that. And you see the questioning of the two detectives. They're saying, well, were you angry? Yeah. Did you hit her in the head and she fell in the water? Yeah. And her teeth broke? Yeah, her teeth broke. It reminded me of The Godfather when they had Sant'Angelo, and I said, did Michael Corleone did this? He said, well, Michael Corleone did this? And Michael, yeah. They said, well, is Michael Corleone the chief of the boss of the Corleone family? Yeah. And they said, well, I thought you said he was the, I said, well, the FBI asked me, did he did this? And he did this? I said, yeah. And that's what I'm seeing here. Coerced. Because 7 hours, they have him, because there's a law now that if you investigating a criminal, it has to be on tape. Yeah. So they're moving from there, it stopped, I think, about 3 o'clock, and they took him to another place. Right. And they battered him for 7 hours, no food to eat. Then they brought him back, and then they said, well, were you very angry? Yeah. And then they use a word that he used, compulsive. I said, there's people with 60 credit can't use that word. Compulsive. And I even lied to you. There's people with 60 credit don't use that word, compulsive. And I said, damn, check this out. They're trying to railroad this poor child. But God is in the matter. God is in the matter. He's going to come out scot-free. Because he's a young man and you don't know left from right. Matter of fact, he's in jail, but in the infirmary. He's in a psychiatric ward. He's not in regular population. And they're asking the psychiatrist, is he competent for trial? So, well, yeah, but he's you know, he don't know what, the elevator don't go up. The elevator don't go up to the 16th floor. Yeah. So you can see, but they does that to us all the time. That's all this country. Anytime they can't find Frank, they get John. But it's always one of us. It's always one of us. That's the people that we live among.
They don't really want to investigate.
Yeah, after a while, because listen now, that type of animal instinct comes from that same area.
Yes.
It's one of them did that. And they know he did that. And it's Fulano is Frank's son, and we could work something out, and that's how that does work. Yes. Because they're not dealing with the other DNA. Right. They're only trying to put it on Channel Lewis. Right. And Channel Lewis don't know what day. Do you see Channel Lewis? Yeah. I want my mommy. That's right. It's evil. It is. It's evil. It's evil. Let's continue with our history.
Verse 8. And Kamor spoke with them, saying, the soul of my son Shechem longeth for your daughter. I pray you, give her unto him to wife, and make ye marriages with us. Give your daughters unto us, and take our daughters unto you. And ye shall dwell with us, and the land shall be before you. Dwell and trade ye therein, and get you possessions therein. And Shechem said unto her father and unto her brethren, let me find favor in your eyes, and what ye shall say unto me, I will give.
Yes, they're trying to, Shechem and Kamor trying to appease Jacob and say, well, you with us, and we with you, and we could work something out. We're going to trade, we're partners, and things will work out pretty good. But give your daughter to my son. He loved her. Because the young man asked his father to go and speak to her because he loved the damsel. Read on, my brother.
Ask me never so much dowry and gift, and I will give according as ye shall say unto me.
No,
Give me the damsel to wife. And the sons of Jacob answered Shechem and Hamor his father with God, and spoke because he had defiled Dinah their sister, and said unto them, we cannot do this thing to give our sister to one that is uncircumcised.
Where we
That
at?
were reproach unto us.
14?
15.
15, yeah. Read on.
Only on this condition will we consent unto you. If you will be as we are, that every male of you be circumcised, then will we give our daughters unto you, and we will take your daughters to us, and we will dwell with you, and we will become one people.
Okay, you see what's going on with Yaakov's life. He just finished come out of a problem with his father-in-law, and he's back into another. His brother was coming, he was frightened. Now he had another problem with his daughter. It doesn't stop with Yaakov. It doesn't stop. He's persevering. It's not easy to deal with that type of stress. Trust me. Some people go to work on the train congestion, they get off. I'm not going to work today. I'm sick, calling sick. And Jacob's going through a lot of stress here. He just come out of that stressful feeling with Esau, and now this is what befall his daughter. You know, and I can imagine him saying, when does it stop? 12 and 12 sons, you know, when does it stop? You know, and it's like, okay, let's see if we can work something out. Let's read and see how far we go. All right.
But if you will not hearken unto us to be circumcised, then we will take our daughter and we will be gone.
Where we at? 19? 18? Okay.
And their words pleased Hamor, and Shechem Hamor's son.
Yeah.
And the young man deferred not to do the thing, because he had delight in Jacob's daughter. And he was honored above all the house of his father.
Yes, he want to go all out for Dinah. And if you rape her, he want to go all out for her. Let's keep track on that. If he really hate her, he want to do all of that he want to do. Because they're not circumcised. And circumcision in those days is not like today.
That's right. No, you got to take a knife.
Yes, exactly. Or Flintstone. And that is not easy. You understand? And he want to go all out for Dinah. Because he loved the damsel. You know, and we, you know, we read it, and I understand that we love our daughters, but she put herself in this predicament. That's all it is. And they're trying to see if we can work something out among the family. That's all. Let's read on, my brother.
And Hamor and Shechem his son came unto the gate of their city, and spoke with the men of their city, saying, these men are peaceable.
Yeah, he is.
Therefore let them dwell in the land and trade therein, for behold, the land is large enough for them. Let us take their daughters to us for wives, and let us give them our daughters.
Yeah.
Only on this condition will the men consent unto us to dwell with us, to become one people. If every male among us be circumcised, as they are circumcised, shall not their cattle and their substance and all their beasts be ours? Only let us consent unto them, and they will dwell with us.
Yes, Kamor is speaking to the old nation that he's in charge of, that we need to do this for the interest of my son. And we could trade with these people, and we could have a good life for these people, because they're peaceful people. And they say that we don't have an army. They say that Jacob don't have an army. That's why they say they're peaceful people. They don't have the defense, but they don't know that we have a God that protects us. That's the problem there. Because you hear what he said, they're peaceful people. That means we soft. That's what he's saying, they're soft. Yeah, and we could work something out. We'll trade with them. We'll take their daughters, and they take our daughters. That's it, you know, it's all. But they just want to make peace among us.
And they got plenty of cattle.
Exactly, and a lot of cattle. They got a lot of. We don't have all the cattle that them people have. Them people are blessed. Let's read on.
24. And unto Hamor and unto Shechem his son hearkened all that went out of the gate of his city, and every man was circumcised, all that went out of the gate of his city. And it came to pass on the third day, when they were in pain, that two of the sons of Yaakov, Shimon and Levi, Dinah's brethren, took each man his sword, and came upon the city unawares, and slew all the men. And they slew Hamor and Shechem his son with the edge of the sword, and took Dinah out of Shechem's house, and went forth.
Yeah, Dinah was still in the house. Dinah was still in the house. She was waiting to see what would have turned out, that she would get married, and everything going to be okie dokie. It didn't turn out like that. These two sons of Jacob decide that they're going to take matters into their hand. And they know that on the third day you're really sore. You can't defend yourself. Your mind is more in the pain than to defend yourself. And they slew all the male of the place. And that's rough. Them two guys are rough. Them two guys are rough. Them two guys are rough. They guys are rough. You know how to kill all the men in a state? They kill all the men. They slew them, and they slew Hamor, and they slew Shechem. And come here, you going home. And they gone with Dinah. And they kill them. Yeah, they wiped them out. Let's read on.
The sons of Jacob came upon the slain and spoiled the city because they had defiled their sister.
Yeah.
They took their flocks and their herds and their asses, and that which was in the city and that which was in the field, and all their wealth and all their little ones and their wives took they captive and spoiled, even all that was in their house. And Jacob said to Shimon and Levi, "Ye have troubled me, to make me odious unto the inhabitants of the land, even unto the Canaanites and the Perizzites. And I being few in number, they will gather themselves together against me and smite me, and I shall be destroyed, I and my house."
You said, she said, "Are the Allah?" Okay, that sounds good, but Jacob don't have an army to fight with the Canaanites and the Perizzites. And that's what Jacob is arguing about. You guys make me odious in the state of this nation around me. I don't have an army. And you guys kill up some of these Canaanites, they're all going to come on top of me. Jacob's in distress again. Jacob is in distress all over again. He just came out with distress with his brother, and now here again he's thinking about the nation going to come upon him. And he's few in numbers. Let's see how this is going to pan out.
Chapter 35.
Hallelujah.
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 And God said unto Yaakov, "Arise, go up to Bethel and dwell there, and make there an altar unto God, who appeared unto thee when thou didst flee from the face of Esau thy brother."
There you go. Our God step in.
That's right. That's right.
Step in. Tell him, get yourself, don't worry about it, get yourself together. Move on. Get out of there. Just get out of there. Get out. Our God is great. Yeah, just get out of there. I'm the reassurance. I'm the reward here. Don't worry about it. I know what the young men did, but we working together. You are the one that I bless. Don't worry about it. And I always said this. We are the people that God called back to these statutes, His ordinance, and His commandment. We need to do it good. You know why? Because God was taken in favor, knowing that you are so, what you call, respectful to His law, and He will save those that you love.
Yes.
Trust me.
Yes, sir.
He will save those that you love. Just through you. And He said it. He said it with David. Just because David was strong in my way, that's why his son going to be always the king. And God worked like that.
Yes.
The Most High God worked like that. He remember the steadfastness that you put in Him, so He would always reward your loved one. Abraham, your father. Yeah, that's how this Most High God work. So you don't want to do this wishy-washy. You want to put your all in all in it, because the reward for your family. That's the way I take it. I am the pillar. Because He didn't call my brothers and my sisters, He called me. So I am the reward to God. And God will answer my prayer to protect them. And that's what I does. Because I trust in it like that. And don't mind, I like to dance a lot. I like to party a lot. I like to have fun a lot. But I know who's the God of heaven. I don't pass my day in the house praying 7 times a day. I don't do that. I watch movie. I ate. I enjoy life. I go out in the street. I play domino. I enjoy life. God didn't say that. I enjoy life. I drink and I eat. I have a good time. But I remember that there's a God. And I do everything. I give thanks and do everything in moderation.
That's right. That's correct.
Yeah. I have a good time because that's what I want to do. God gave me that leverage to have a good time.
Yes. Enjoy the fruits of your labor.
Exactly, the fruits of my labor. And You might say, well, oh, I'm not over righteous. No, I don't. I just keep thanking God for what I get. That's all. I'm not over righteous. Because people just try, oh, that's kind of over righteous. No. I never had this, so God gave it to me. God gave it to me, and I have to acknowledge that. If you don't want to acknowledge it, that's your problem. But I have to acknowledge it that God is in my life. That's all there is to it. And it makes me feel good. If you don't want to follow that pattern, fine with me. But that's the route that I'm taking. Let's read on, my brother.
Verse 2. Then Yaakov said unto his household and to all that were with him, put away the strange gods that are among you and purify yourselves.
Okay.
Change your garments and let us arise and go to Beit El.
Uh-huh.
And I'll make there an altar unto God, who answered me in the day of my distress and was with me in the way which I went.
That's where it was supposed to go when God tell him to leave Paramaran, straight to Beit El. But he took a detour, and things turned out like all of us does that. All of us does that. It's not something that Jacob did because he didn't want to listen to God. We does that. We are human beings. You don't stress yourself over people because they're human being. A human being does things that they think is okay. That's what it is. Human being does things that they think is okay and it don't turn out good. But you can't come back from. You don't want to go too far that you can't come back from it. You know, you don't want to go too far that you can't come back from it. So if you make a mistake, you could come back from it. Because the Most High God says, a righteous man falls 7 times. And get right back up and dust it off. God said that. It's called righteous. Yeah. Because we're not God. We're not God. We're human beings, so we do make mistakes on the way. Because life is not the way. And everyday life, you can't fathom what's going to happen today. You can't. You're not God. The day will start out good, and then, what in the world happened here? You make a bad left. It wasn't supposed to turn out like this. But no way, but that's life. That's all life is. And you have to know to take the bitter with the sweet. You have to learn about that. That's life. We have to learn to do that. And trust in God. Just like we'll enjoy the sun, we enjoy the rain also. You know, let's read on, my brother.
Verse 4. And they gave unto Yaakov all the foreign gods which were in their hand, and the rings which were in their ears. And Yaakov hid them under the terebinth which was by Shechem.
Well, you got to remember, you have a lot of Shechemites women with him. And they got out, everybody got their God. So he looking with a lot of women now. Plenty, Raquel and them, everybody, everybody. The Raquel got her father God still. She haven't get rid of it yet. Yeah, she haven't get rid of the God that she was sitting on the whole time. You know. She still haven't get that God yet. Yeah, you know, but let's continue this here.
And the terror of God was upon the cities that were round about them. And they did not pursue after the son of Yaakov.
Hallelujah.
They came to Luz, which is in the land of Canaan, the same as Beit El. He and all the people that were with him. And he built there an altar and called the place El Beit El. Because there God was revealed unto him when he fled from the face of his brother. And Deborah, Rebekah's nurse, died. And she was buried below Beit El under the oak. And the name of it was called Alon Baku.
Now we talk about Deborah, but we're not talking nothing about Rivkah. Then her nurse died, but what happened to Mama Rivkah? The nurse died, but why are they not talking about Rivkah here? It's true, his mother, he went to Padanaran. Right. And we talking about the nurse died, that was with her, but, nothing about Rivkah. But that's all the story, that's all God telling Moses the story. That's how it went. And if whatever, the secret thing belong unto God, and those that reveal unto us, for us to know and do. That's it. Don't worry too much about Rivkah. That's it. Because she's not here. That's all this is. Let's read on, my brother.
And God appeared unto Yaakov again when he came from Padan Aram and blessed him.
Mhm.
And God said unto him, Thy name is Yaakov. Thy name shall not be called any more Yaakov, but Yisrael shall be thy name. And he called him his name Yisrael.
Blessed, blessed. He blessed him again. Double blessed for Yaakov. That's why we bless, you know. That's why we are blessed people. That's why true Israel, please Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, we are the blessed people. We are the only people in the world that can take nothing and make something out of it. Nobody can do that. Nobody can do that. Nobody can do that. Nobody can do that. We are the only people that can pray to an unseen God. People can't do that. They have to pray to a door, a statue, something. It has to be tangible. We got that power. That's power to pray to an unseen God. Trust me. That's a lot of power to pray to something that you don't see. And you believe and you answer. That's not no joke, you know. We are a powerful people, and the people of the land know who they have in the captive. If we was to leave this place, it fall flat on its face. Trust me, because we are the backbone of this country. Everything that the money is us. They only have the guy that giving tickets in the black neighborhood. He's not in Bensonhurst. He's not in the area where they are in Covered Beach. He's right in the black neighborhood. Ticket. Yeah. That's where they make the money. In the courts, in the jail. It's 1.2 million blacks in jail. That's a whole nation. I know a country that don't have all that people in there. There's a lot of people in jail. And I know not all of them is good at two shoes, but there's a lot of people in jail. And Amnesty International is saying like, whoa, when does it stop? When does it stop? Yeah. Read on, my brother.
Verse 11. Yeah. And God said unto him, I am God Almighty. Be fruitful and multiply. A nation and a company of nations shall be of thee, and kings shall come out of thy loins.
Hallelujah.
The land which I gave unto Abraham and Yitzchak, to thee I will give it, and to thy seed after thee I will give the land. God went up from him in the place where he spoke to him. And Yahweh set up a pillar in the place where he spoke to him, a pillar of stone, and he poured out a drink offering thereon, and poured oil thereon. Yahweh called the name of the place where God spoke with him, Beit El.
Beit El, the house of God.
And they journeyed from Beit El, and there was still some way to come to Ephraim. Raquel travailed, and she had hard labor. And it came to pass when she was in hard labor, that the midwife said unto her, Fear not.
So this is also the son.
And it came to pass as her soul was in departing, for she died. And she called his name Ben Oni, but his father called him Ben Yamin.
You see what can happen with childbirth? That's the woman he loved. And he's seen that. You see, don't end with Jacob. It doesn't stop. He just got out of the trouble with his two sons, and now he lost his wife in childbirth. But he's still persevering. He haven't give up. He haven't give up his hand. And this is a teaching for us as men and women, that you don't give up. When God in your life, you don't give up. It says, just like gold is tried in the fire, acceptable man is tried in the furnace of adversity.
Yes, sir. Come on. That's right.
Trust me. It doesn't stop. It doesn't stop. It's like the rent. It come every month. Every month it come. It's like the cable bill. It come every month. It's like the phone bill. It come every month. It doesn't stop. It doesn't stop. And you see, this is not easy, you know. This is a man that taking the bull by the horn, because there's no other way to do it about it. He can't give up. He can't give up. This is a man. And that's what Israelite men supposed to be. Men. Men, that's right, men. We don't buckle and we don't shake. We have God on our side. We have God on our side. We got the Most High God on our side. And like I said, it's not an easy way of living sometime in this place, because this is an evil place. It's going evil because the guy on the top is evil. The guy on top, that yellow hair guy is evil. Yeah, he's evil. And he trying because the country already was evil, but with the type of word that he bringing out there, everybody lift up the, even just raise up the head lately. Yeah, rhetoric. The rhetoric that he put out there caused people to just say, I'm a stabber and run. Yeah. Yeah. Europeans are up in arms. Yeah. Because they say, well, yeah, it's our country. Fine. If your name is Geronimo, it's okay. Yeah. Or your name is Asiola, it's all right, it's your country. But if your name is McCormick, it's not your country. You came here just like me. Yeah, you're a stranger just like me. Yeah, you came by choice. I came here because you dragged me here. But your name is McCormick. You're not Geronimo. You're not Sitting Bull. If your name is Sitting Bull, then it's your country. That's all they said. Yeah. No, I'm serious here. If your name is Asiola, it's your country. But if your name is McDonald, you come from somewhere else. You just a stranger just like me. That's all they said. So don't put yourself on that pedestal that you're an American and I'm not an American. We all an American. We all an American. We all under the same flag. Let's read on.
Verse 19. And Rachel died and was buried in the way to Ephrath, the same as Bethlehem.
Yeah.
And Yaakov set up a pillar upon her grave, the same as the pillar of Rachel's grave unto this day. And Yisrael journeyed and spread his tent before Migdal Eder. And it came to pass while Yisrael dwelt in that land, that Reuben went and lay with Bilhah, his father's concubine, and Yisrael.
What is that all about, man? You know the shame that's taking place here? It's back to back to back. Now, let's meditate for a second. This didn't happen spur of the moment. They just took a lot of women from Shechem. A bunch of women they took from Shechem. Damsel, women that knew men, all of that. Why you want to go into Bilhah, your stepmother? Of all the people you want to go into, how long you been looking at her? How long you been looking at her? And how long she been looking at you? It's not all right. I know the old man is getting old, but it doesn't work like that. You should consider, and you know what? Everybody in the neighborhood know that. They talk, shh, you know, yeah, there's a thing going on. And Jacob is shame. That is shame when your son go into your wife.
That's correct.
You feel less of a man.
Oh, yes.
That ain't no joke. And he don't consider that.
That's right.
I don't know what happened to the two of them, why they could make a move like that. You know, she knew him from a child. She saw him born.
That's right. That's right.
She saw him born. So what is this now that you and him want to couple up together? I mean, come on, Reuben. There's a lot of dancers that came out of Shechem. They took all the women, I said. You could take a woman from there. If you didn't want to take a virgin, you could take a woman that no man already. It's at your disposition. They're captors. The law of shaving her hair and peeling her nail didn't come in yet. So you could just go right into her and relax yourself. If you want your conjugal rights to be done, that's all I'm saying here. Because they are your captors. And the law of captors didn't come in yet. So if you really feel like you want to get your conjugal rights on, you could pick one of the women there, not your father's wife. Not your father's wife, man. Come on, for crying out loud. It doesn't go like that. That urge can't come up like you like that. But the two of them been looking at each other for quite a while. That didn't happen spur of the moment. Okay? Bela looked good, she's stout, she's tight, and he looking at her, she looking at him, big and strong, he's the firstborn. Big and strappy, look good. And yeah, Yaakov's strength. And, you know, it went bad. And, you know, it kind of, that, the story of everything, I dealt with it, but this one hurt me. This hurt me. Because I'm a man. I'm a man. And you know what? In my country, they say, you could talk about a guy's mother, but don't talk about his wife. Yeah, don't talk. Yeah, you said your mother wear bloomers. Fine. But don't tell me that my wife don't know to cook. It's a big fight. Yeah, I'm serious. Don't talk about my wife. You say, oh, your mother wear bloomer. It's fine. I'm good with that. Don't talk about my wife. Let's read on, my brother.
Now these are the sons of Yaakov. The sons of Yaakov were 12. The sons of Leah, Reuben, Yaakov's firstborn, and Shimon, and Levi, and Yehuda, and Yissaschar, and Zebulun. The sons of Raquel, Joseph, and Binyamin. And the sons of Bilhah, Raquel's handmaid, Dan and Naphtali. And the sons of Zilpah, Leah's handmaid, Gad and Asher. These are the sons of Yaakov that were born into him in Padan Aram. Yaakov came unto Yitzchak his father to Mamre, to Kiriath Arba. And the days of Yitzchak were 480 years. Yitzchak expired and died and was gathered unto his people, old and full of days. And Esau and Yaakov his sons buried him.
Yeah, you see how it turned out. He finally reached by the Abba. Father passed away. They bury him. But it's a good history to see how our father persevered in all the obstacles that was put in front of him. And he climbed those obstacles and he went, he adventured over it and he made it. And it is to show the respect that our men deal with adversity and fight it out and work with it.
Yes.
That's what we learn out of this history here, that our father went through all this, but he's still hanging there. He didn't abandon his wife. He didn't abandon his children.
Yeah. Right.
He stick to it. And that's what we have to learn from this history. Okay. When the going get hard, we get harder.
That's right. That's right.
There's no giving up here. Giving up is for soft.
Yes.
There's no giving up here. If you is an Israelite man and an Israelite woman, you don't have to give up. And let me tell you something. Life doesn't go the way you want it, And don't think that you're going to always have that big job forever. Because I had a big job, and I lost it because the place closed down. That wasn't my fault. And I said, well, what in the world is this? Yeah, that's how life goes. Life is like that. When you think you're on top, you come down. That's why humbleness is good. Humility is good. Today you have a pocket full of money, tomorrow you don't have none. Because that's all life is. Yes, you can go from back straight down and you didn't cause it. You didn't cause it. But then you don't give up. It's just a test. You don't give up. You don't stay home and cry all day. Get out. Get out the house and start filling out the application. Get out the house and start filling out the application. That's how that works. You'll get another job. You don't stay home. Men don't stay home and move. Now, you don't do that. You go out there and try again and again and again until you get it right. If you're the godly man.
Yes.
Now, the 36 is about the sons of Esau, and you guys can sort it out on your own. It's a lot of name. It's dukes about dukes and talk about chieftain. You guys can study that. My time is up. Shabbat Shalom.
Blessed be Yahuwah our King.
Amen.
Thank you the Most High God for the life of Chief Kohath ben Levi.
Amen.
And the life of my brother Mordeh Yiftach ben Dan, for the words that the Most High God inspired, and for all the wisdom and understanding that that the Most High God has brought forth today. I know sometimes that when we hear certain topics, and I know that online there was a discussion about whether or not she was raped, or if it was consensual, so forth. Understand this, Israel. We come from different schools of understanding. The school that you come from might have taught that she was raped. The school where I come from might have taught that she wasn't raped. But the thing about it is that we learn to come to a middle ground, and sometimes we learn to agree to disagree. Because sometimes Torah doesn't specifically tells us exactly what's going on there. So, because one side could bring points from, well, I could show you what rapists in the Tanakh, and I could show you the words that they use. And the other side could say, well, I could also show you. And then there'll be just a back and forth. So the thing about it is that sometimes we want to argue our points and we want to get emotional with it. But those of us that have been around the mill for a while, we know these arguing points. And we know that it's been going back and forth forever. So the best thing to do is for us to agree to disagree. And just like Chief said, learn to love each other and move forward. Hallelujah. We thank the great King for this day. Now we hope and pray that the Most High God will continue to bless us all. Hallelujah. At this time, we will close out this portion of the day. And I'll ask, oh, you just finished teaching, so I guess I got to ask myself. And he told got to ask myself to pray. Hallelujah. Hallelujah. Blessed are you, Yahweh, our King. We thank you, Yahweh, for our lives. We thank you for knowledge, wisdom, and understanding. We thank you for food, clothing, and shelter. We ask Yahweh that on this day that thou will continue to be with us and bless us. That thou look down upon thy people Yisrael scattered upon the four corners of the earth, and that thou would even grant us a blessing, and even these the lands of our captivity. We ask Yahweh that thou continue to look upon us, O Yah, and even find us worthy to come back to thee as thy people, to come and bow the heads before thee, and to bend our knees, O Yah, and declare that thou art God and God alone, and besides you there is no king. Besides you, there is no Savior. Besides you, there is no Redeemer. We ask Yahweh that thou continue to be with those brothers and sisters who are in a bad condition. Those brothers and sisters who are incarcerated unjustly. Yahweh, hear their cries, hear their prayers, hear their supplications, and cause them to come home speedily to their families once more. We ask Yahweh that thou continue to be with the sick in the nation. Those who are not feeling that well on this day, we ask Yahweh that thou will heal them, that thou will protect them. For we know that the dead praise not thee, nor any that go down into silence. So we ask Yahweh that thou will strengthen thy people so that they might be able to praise thee, O Yah, even with a strong spirit. We ask Yahweh that thou continue to be with the fatherless, the widow, the destitute, the poor and the needy. Be with all those people who call upon thy name, O Yah. Be with them. Bring them to knowledge of self and make them understand that thou art God and there is none other. We ask Yahweh that thou continue to be with those brothers and sisters, oh Yah, who are abroad, even those brothers and sisters that did not make it out today. Continue to be with our brother, even Mordeh Aranya and his wife, even Princess Anawan, that thou would even continue to protect them and bless them. And as they got to their destination safely, we ask Yahweh that thou return them back safely. We ask Yahweh that thou be with all of our people, wherever they might be. Be with our brothers and sisters who are enjoying the unity Shabbat, even the youth. Cause them to have a peaceful time and cause them to have a joyous time. We ask all this in the high, holy, divine name, Yehoshaphat. Hallelujah. 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 Amen. Amen. This time I say the words that the Most High God gave unto Moshe. To give unto our Haron and his sons to bless the children of Yisrael, hoping and praying that on the conclusion of this portion of the day, that the Most High God will look down upon each and every one of us and grant us a blessing. Hallelujah. Hallelujah. I got to find it first. Wa daber Yehovah el Moshe lemor, daber el Aharon we el Benah lemor, ko tavarku et bnei Yisrael amor lahem. And Yehovah spoke unto Moshe, saying, speak unto Aharon and unto his son, saying, on this wise he shall bless the children of Yisrael. Ye shall say unto them, Yivareka Yehovah Yishmareka, Ya'ir Yehovah Panau Leka Wikuneka, Yisai Yehovah Panau Leka Yasem Leka Shalom. May Yahweh bless thee and keep thee. May Yahweh make his face to shine upon thee and be gracious unto thee. May Yahweh lift up his countenance upon thee and may he grant thee peace. Hallelujah. 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 Bequacho. Erquiaoso. Hallelujah. Bevortaio. Hallelujah. Erogulo. Hallelujah. Betekwa shofar, hallelujah, benevel wekino, hallelujah, betafumako, hallelujah, emini weoga, hallelujah, betzel tale shama, betzel tale terua, Kohath shama, hallelujah. Shabbat Shalom Aleichem. We will return at about 3:15. 3:15. He got 2 chapters this afternoon. Yeah, but that's Benjamin. 3:15, 3:30, around there. Anywhere in between that time. Remember the hospitality of Abraham, B'tei Avon, and let's pick up these chairs and set up some tables. Babakushan is on us because the children are not here. Chief Kohath didn't drink out of this.
Yeah, no problem, man. Good to see you. Glad you joined us, man. All right.